So this June I spent 2 weeks in Corsica hiking. It's a French island in the Mediterranean to the south of France and north of Sardinia. My initial plan was just to hike a trail there called the GR20, which I've thought about doing for years, and it's notoriously rugged and challenging. Then I realised I'd got enough time to hike another trail first, so I hiked the Mare Monti, which is sea and mountains. It's about 75 miles in the northwest of the island, dips down to the sea and then goes inland up valleys to the mountains, and returns to the sea and does that a few times, which is where this footage we're watching now is. It was nice to hike this trail because it showed me a different side of Corsica to the one I later saw on the GR20. For instance, it went through several Corsican villages, which were nice, and the GR20 doesn't really do that. And also the coastal stuff was nice too. It's always nice to be able to hike and see the sea. In June, Corsica was pretty hot most of the time. Even the night times, temperatures didn't get particularly cold. This guy just overtook me. I ran past. Yeah, it was warm. Although later on, you can see I got above the snow line a little bit, walked across some snow, but even then it wasn't really cold. Had a swim in the sea here, which was very nice. Mediterranean was very clear and sheltered being in this bay too. There wasn't a lot of wildlife, but there were some feral goats and some cows and pigs too, which were nice. And this village you can see here is the end of the first trail, the Mare Monti, and the beginning of the GR20. I'd hoped I could buy some food there and get some cash out, but I actually got there on a bank holiday and I couldn't find a cash machine in the village, and the shop was shut, so I ended up heading into the mountains with I think about €70 in cash and some peanuts and sardines, which felt a little bit of a gamble, a little bit unprepared. I knew there are refuges in the mountains that sell food and that sort of thing. And the main way people hiking the GR20 do it is to stay at the refuges each night and walk on to the next one. They either have bunks, like bunk rooms that you can stay in, or you can take your own tent, or some of them also have tents you can rent out too, which I think is a more recent addition based on the high demand. Corsica was, you can't tell it from the video, but it was surprisingly busy with other hikers. It's a real popular destination for hikers. Mostly they were French, but there were a few people from a few other countries too. Had dinner one night with a Belgian man. This is up around one of the highest points of the trail. You can see having to cross a little snow. I think if you go in May, there can be quite a lot of snow. You could probably get away with going. I think I started mid-June. You could probably start a little bit earlier if you're happy travelling on snow. This is the Corsican flag, which you see a lot out there. I love being up in the clouds. It's so atmospheric. It's quite a simple hike logistically. The path, although it was rugged and involved some scrambling and that sort of thing, there were even chains in a few places, it was well marked with the red and white paint that you see. You could almost do it without a map, although it's nice to have one just so you know how far it is to the next place. While it was tough in terms of elevation change and the scrambling and the heat and things, it was quite simple to follow. And also with the refuges, there are quite a lot of places you can buy some food. I mean, they don't have a lot of choice, but you can generally get sort of saucisson or cheeses or chocolate or biscuits or bread or things. So you never really need to carry too much food. It's a hike I could definitely see myself going back and doing again. It was very beautiful out there. Hikes generally split into two, since there's a village roughly at the halfway point. The northern half's definitely a bit more rugged and a little bit higher, the mountains, and the southern half things get a little bit gentler, but I mean it's still tough. And yeah, this is really in the southern half now, getting towards the end. Wildlife I saw the most of were these little lizards. Sometimes you'd go to put your foot down on a rock and one would suddenly scurry in front of you and you wouldn't want to crush it, and then it would scurry away just before you put your foot down.